Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Skip, aka Skipntosh, here with my man Wes. Say what's up to the people, Wes.
How's everybody doing today? Nice little Thursday we got going on here.
Nice little Thursday, with a very interesting book that I am very conflicted on. Wes, you and I spoke a little bit before. I think we know your feelings on this book, but why don't you tell the people? Why don't we just start there?
You know, I didn't like the humor in the first book. It feels like Gerry Duggan has doubled down on the humor in the second book. It's a little bit too scatterbrained for me, and I don't think he's really elevating uh, Kate Pryde as the new captain. He's kind of making her look foolish and like a not good leader. The only character in this book that I think is portrayed in a good light is Emma Frost. So I'm a little bit surprised about that. You would expect the members of the Marauders to actually get the shine, but it seems that she's getting the focus of the only one that gets to look like a competent character.
I would agree, and of course, we're talking about Marauders #2 by Gerry Duggan, Matteo Lolli on the pencils, and Federico Blee on the colors. And yeah, I would agree. The characterizations in this book, for the most part, I was not a huge fan of. The only I would actually I would mark it three characters. I think Sebastian Shaw is pretty similar to what he is supposed to be. Emma Frost has some of the best characterization, probably the best. And I did
Mm-hmm.
like how wow, seriously, Bishop. I did like.
Bishop, yeah, he's the other one that he's kind of like, what the hell am I doing here? You guys are idiots.
And
I
that's
like
why I
that
like
part.
Bishop, because that's how I feel. What the hell am I doing here? Like,
He,
what's
that's
going
definitely the
on?
point of view character for me because I was right there with him. I was like, I wouldn't want to be there either, brother.
Yep, me neither. And again, this time around, we're not going to be going beat for beat through the book as a whole on Thinking Critical. You know, unless explicitly stated, we're kind of moving back far away from that. There's so many outlets and platforms where you can get the story from beginning to end, and if you really, really, really like it, obviously buy the book. If you're interested in support the book, support comics, but it's OTB. More than ever, we're going to be going outside of the bleed to bleed out to y'all to give you guys our impressions and things that maybe get talked about that are kind of in between the lines, so to speak, and definitely outside of the margins. Yeah, overall, I want to, we kind of already started out, but if we're going to give a strong start, my very, very, very favorite thing about the book easily, and what didn't make the book a complete wash for me, was really the art. My goodness, like Matteo Lolli, the lines, some like, and then some of the thicker lines and the faces and the beards of like Sebastian Shaw and everything are just fantastic. I would probably go as far as to say the only and also the architecture, the structures, like all of that stuff, the houses, the ships. The only person, and this is weird, the only character in there that I don't enjoy the art on, honestly, is Kitty Pryde, aka Kate Pryde. I don't particularly like, and not just like her form and everything, but just even her face. I
Her
don't like how her
face, I
face
don't
is
like it.
drawn either. Wes, talk about the art a little bit and your impressions of that.
Well, it actually opens up with a pretty trippy page where Emma Frost is like, I think it's talking to the cuckoos in her mind, and
Mhm.
they're kind of all floating around. It's really interesting. It's probably the best page I think, as far as just making an impact and everything. But yeah, the art's pretty good. But I'm right there with you. Kate Bishop, especially her face, there's just something wrong with it. I think it's because her eyes are, she's got black eyes and stuff, and she's, I don't think she has the nose bandage anymore. I think that was actually Excalibur. But so I don't know. For some reason, he's not firing on all cylinders on that character. But for the most part, until some shenanigans go on later, he gets the other characters pretty well, and especially Emma Frost. That is absolutely a standout character in this book as far as the writing, the characterization, and the art. She gets the biggest shine all around.
Easily, and she, to me, she is the star of the book, and not even
Absolutely.
like, she is beautifully drawn. Her physique and all that stuff, all the curves, it's all there for all
Mm-hmm.
who enjoy it. But that's not even it. Like, I do give Gerry Duggan all the credit that I can in that vein. He is writing the life into Emma Frost and holding strong on everything she's trying to do, everything that she represents, her power. And even how she basically, you know, has used Sebastian Shaw's indulgences as his weakness to keep him under her thumb. And I thought that was really, really great. So yeah, she's drawn fantastically. Like Matteo Lolli is the hero of this book as far as the creative team, and I'll give a heaping amount of praise to Federico Blee as well. The colors are really good, strong, fantastic. I do think they complement the book well. Everything from how they're out on the ocean, how the water's represented, how the ship's represented is awesome. He takes away the background to put like completely to put focus on the characters when needed. And well, that would be obviously Matteo Lolli, but even just kind of how some of the colors, you know, are washed up, or when, you know, like Wes was saying, when Emma Frost needs to use her powers, how the colors are conveyed, you know, even how she started to go into her diamond form, where most of the time we would straight up just see, you know, like the actual diamonds themselves, the lines. I like how this was a little bit more kind of implied with the colors that gets shown when light hits the diamonds. We saw more of that, and I thought that was Federico Blee and Matteo Lolli really coming together very well. And I also liked her feather suit, how like one of her arms was straight up like a feather. Like, I'm into fashion as much as a broke man from Sacramento can be into fashion. Shout out to Brian Edward Hill, who got the money to actually be into that stuff. But yeah, you know, I just all of that part of the art and everything I really enjoyed. And now that I'm thinking about it, they probably intentionally take Kitty Pryde down, or Kate Pryde. I just love how in X-Force, like, Benjamin Percy didn't give a damn about that Kate Pryde thing. He's like, nah, she's Kitty Pryde. I really enjoy how and I think it is a creative choice to kind of make her not be, I mean, you don't have to be fabulous, so to speak, but like almost kind of not be desirable to look at, you know, because yeah, she's supposed to, you know, they really have to beat this whole Kitty Pryde's a pirate thing now into us. And I, you know, and aesthetics are a part of storytelling. So I understand that that's what they're doing. I just personally don't favor it, because it isn't, not that I need to be physically or, you know, or sexually attracted to her, but I do want to just be aesthetically attracted to her when I read the comic. But anyway, that's that. Outside of the art, West, what were some of the other major beats?
So
good or
the
bad?
big thing is Emma Frost playing the Black King, Sebastian Shaw, like a fiddle. She basically realizes that she's given him a little bit too much rope, and he's taking some liberties. He's trying to unload some of these pharmaceuticals that the mutants had that were earmarked to go to Africa. He's taking them to America, to a country club, to make some money off some rich people. And basically she puts him in his place, plays him like a fiddle, and then slaps the hell out of his pee-pee. and he gets owned pretty hard in that one. And I thought it was excellent. The characterization and the implied relationship between them, and you start learning how the Black King, the White Queen, and ultimately what the Red Queen is going to mean in the whole scheme of things. And, you know, and she sent Kitty Pryde and her team out to stop this ship that he had going in there. And so there's conflicting interests that they're putting their team in. And I thought it was really, really well executed. I liked it a lot. Easily the best part of the story.
I would agree. That's a beat that was important to me. And that was my draw to this book. That's what made me excited about this book initially, is that underlying theme that, you know, they are like, even above, you know, them liberating mutants, because let's be honest, like if you've read the first one, if you read this one, that has not been a big part of the story almost at all so far. Like there was like one part of the very first book where they brought some mutants home. They try to fill it in the infographic part, how, you know, they were doing other missions and how they got 2 Omega level mutants and whatnot. Storm is shrouded in a cloud, and, you know, so they're trying to, you know, pull that apart in. But really the biggest part and what they've been focusing on more is the pharmaceutical drugs and how, you know, that's been affecting the internal relationships, and then ultimately how it plays out, who we find the Red Queen to be. I'm kind of going to jump around a little bit, because again, we're not going linear anyway. We're not covering the whole story. But Wes, I just want to go ahead and go on record to say, and with what they had put out in the previews and to the media, it wasn't a big thing. I just wasn't so sold on it. I was hoping there would be a little bit more of a spin, but you were absolutely right. The Red Queen, Kitty Pryde.
Oh, it's such a lame introduction of her as the Red Queen. At the end, Sebastian Shaw and Emma Frost are going at it, and they're having an argument, and she basically lays down the law and says, listen, the seat's already been filled. I've already done it. Like, well, who'd you choose and who'd you choose? And he goes to call her the B word, and then a drunk Kate Pryde walks in and says, I'm the Red Queen, bitch. Like, oh my God. What is this?
Yeah.
It's fucking Charlie's Angels or something. Sorry for the F word.
No worries, but straight up, dude, like that was my reaction. I was like, that was so forced. Like that part. And what makes it bad is that like even the lead up to it, like what she went and did before when they got their new ship and when they got docked and everything, like even the lead up to it was fine, but then when it actually happens, it's just so forced. And that was also probably the worst like drawing that easily that I had seen of Kitty Pryde. Like
just like the first issue when she names the team the Marauders and she's pointing at the camera, is like, this is easily the worst page. I think she's not supposed to look cool, but it's supposed to be fun. And you're like, this isn't fun. This is stupid. Same thing happens in issue 2.
Literally.
In my opinion.
Gerry Duggan hit that same beat again, and it was awful. If we do go to another part that I do like, because pretty much everything involving Bishop, I've really, really liked. I've just enjoyed Bishop. Oh, actually, before we go there, again, we're kind of jumping around it a little bit. I do have to point out another thing that was just an annoyance to me. So when they are going onto the ship, and obviously Sebastian Shaw has been, like Wes said, kind of taking some off the top, so to speak, and then giving some of these pharmaceuticals to some of the richer people that already have access to them, but they're greed, they want more. He had Batroc on that ship. He had hired Batroc. I despise the fact that and I actually like Batroc the Leaper. I'm one of those weird people. I like Batroc the Leaper. I did Taekwondo for a long time. He does a French form of Taekwondo. I think that's cool. I despise the fact that he kicked Storm.
It was dumb. Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, what?
And then even worse than that, when Kitty Pryde, when the dude, one of the, Batroc's henchmen, one of his mercenaries,
she's gonna stab her, and she like monologues. It's like he's got a knife. It's coming over her shoulder, and she's like, stop. And like starts monologuing. He's like, he's trying to murder you. I'm with you. I was like, it's supposed to be fun and campy. It comes off as lame. And that's what I'm going to talk about it. That's the whole team. They finally go on their shore leave. They've done their mission and they stopped everything. And like, why does Kate Pryde have a drinking problem in this comic book? It doesn't make any sense to me. She's sloshed in the first book. She's sloshed in this book. Is that supposed to be like her pirate persona? Is her drinking rum all the time? Whatever. Yeah. Feels like she's being sandbagged to me, but it's stupid. And so they all get hammered, and she goes and gets like "Stand Fast" tattooed on her knuckles, and then Pyro gets a like permanent blackface tattooed on him. Like,
I saw that and I was just like, Gerry Duggan.
Like, people lost movie roles for doing stuff like this. I can't believe you're putting it into your comic book, man.
you gave Pyro a skeleton blackface, homie. Like, even if you just left the outline there, or you fill it in with red, which would match his suit, or something. You gave Pyro skull blackface. I'm not even offended. I'm just like shocked and appalled that you
I don't think the editorial team thought this one through, man. Might not have been the best choice in 2020 or 2019.
Like, easily one of the worst creative decisions Marvel has made. And I'm surprised, and Gerry Duggan is known to be, like one of those writers that hangs on to, I always get the left and the right mixed up, but I, leans more to the liberal side and all that stuff. So for this to be a creative choice, oh my gosh. Now I will give them props on this. When they all went to go get the tattoos, I do like And I'll also give him credit for not screwing these characters up, because I think he
Oh
pretty
yeah.
much knows, like, hey, I know who I can play around with and do make goofballs. Bobby Drake, I'm screwing you over. You're just going to be nothing but a goofball. And Cena Grace had already kind of started taking Bobby Drake down that lane anyway. So, Gerry Duggan's just picking up the baton and running with it. Okay, fine. You take Kitty Pryde, who really had a fantastic character that people really, really attached themselves to, and you make her, this scourgy type character who has a drinking problem now. She's definitely getting sandbagged, and that's just to progress your story. Apparently, Gerry Duggan used to be a bartender. I didn't know this. I was watching one of your boy Zach's videos because he was like highlighting some independent bunny comic, and I guess like your boy Zach got all excited because he's like, I was reading it's like, I didn't know this about Gerry Duggan. I actually like him a little bit more now. He used to be a bartender, and he said out in Boston what you had to do, you had to know how to make a drink, and you had to know how to fight. And I was like, all right, so now he's one of your favorite people now, whatever. But like, he's taking that whole thing and like, being a bartender and just like basically throwing what he saw as alcohol addiction all around him into Kitty Pryde and just dragging down her character. But the two people that he did not mess up, because I think he pretty much knew, like, oh, okay, I don't know how to write them funny, and they're traditionally completely not funny characters. They're actually very serious characters. So I'm leaving Bishop alone, and I'm leaving Storm alone. And when everybody else went to go get tattoos, like, Bobby Drake
Bishop says, I already have a tattoo.
And I thought that was really great writing, because he got the mutant M from his timeline.
Yeah. And Storm,
Storm was like,
I could never get a tattoo.
And I was like, good job. Don't screw those characters up, Gerry Duggan, because you would have tanked this book even more for me. So yeah, that was some of my Wes. What are some of the other things, if anything else, that
like I said,
I
think his name's Gateway. It's kind of cool seeing that guy, but
right.
I'm really confused because I thought he was like an Aborigine.
Oh, okay. So the Aborigine, that's supposed to be Manifold. I know you're thinking, that's supposed to be Manifold. This dude, and that's the thing that's weird, because I'm more familiar with Manifold. And it's funny, Eden, yeah, Eden. Eden is his real name. Manifold is his mutant name. I'm more familiar with Eden and Manifold than I am with Gateway, but they are two. As far as I know, they're two different people.
Yeah, but they're both Aborigines.
Oh, well, that would make sense. He does look like an Aborigine,
but the color's all wrong. He's a white dude.
So are they the same person? Like, is I'm about to say they couldn't be, yeah, because Aborigines, obviously, people who know, they're like traditionally pretty darn dark. There's not a lot of them that are more fair skinned. There are some, but they have a very, very distinct look. Obviously out from like the ancient indigenous people of Australia. They have a very, very distinct look.
Blee got the coloring wrong on him. He's supposed to be a little bit darker than this, because he looks like an old white dude with a beard.
Right.
Like
the only thing that he kind of got right was like the way the facial hair and the eyes, because the eyes of the Aborigine are very, very distinct, more removed. If anybody who watches the NBA, think Patty Mills from the San Antonio Spurs. He's Aborigine. So, but the color, yeah, completely just looks like a fair skinned white dude. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I know who this character is. Like, the coloring's all off. So I give him that. It was nice seeing the character. I'm glad he's back in there. It's cool seeing some of the odds and ends.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess, why do you need to make him fair skinned when you gave Pyro blackface? So maybe that balances things out. I don't know.
So the other thing about the book that I really like that we haven't discussed here is the final reveal of the ship they have, the Marauder. It's pretty dope. It's cool, man. I'm glad they're not on these like junkers anymore. They got like a real ship. Of course, the crew's going to have to learn how to use the weapons and everything, and they definitely need more than 5 people to manage it. But so hopefully there's going to be more mutants on there, because you definitely can't manage that ship with 5 people. It's way too big, but it's cool looking, and I like stuff that looks cool in comic books.
Dude, it is super cool looking. When I saw that, I was like, Matteo, Lolli, like, again, just excelling, not just with physique and form and anatomy, but also like, because even if you go back and not only that, because the ship looks darn cool, it's basically a dope, like, Playboy type yacht with big old like cannons on it, which I just think is awesome. But again, to him, if you go back and you look at even the like some of the very first scenes after Emma was talking to the cuckoos, like that room that that Emma and Sebastian Shaw are having their initial discussion in. I had to like, okay, I see what's going on with them, but let me zoom out. And I looked at everything and I was like, these lines are so good. Matteo Lolli just really, really excelled with everything. And like Wes said, like to have such a good artist, to go from having to draw a junker, which he made look like a junker, but notice we didn't put a lot of emphasis on that because it's not appealing. Then to getting opportunity for him to write a beautiful sea vessel. Oh man, that was a heck of a reveal. And I do enjoy how not only that, but the characters at the bottom, like everybody was like, even Storm was like, oh, Emma. Like it was beautiful. So thank you for pointing that out, Wes. That was a really, really cool part. I'm trying to think of maybe on the best point to end it. We pretty much covered like all the hard hitting stuff. I will say again, the infographics in here were again pretty lame. I can tell that Gerry Duggan tried again to, like make them a little like worth a little bit more, and he did use one of the Hickman tropes of redacting things immediately within the article. But to me, it just didn't really do much for me. And then at the very end, was probably a very benign, but the probably the most
it's most interesting.
Yeah, the most interesting and the most essential too. But I'll be honest with you, I'm starting to get a feel that there's an editorial mandate that there's like a 2 infographic minimum.
Absolutely. every one of these has 2, and you see Teeny Howard's using poetry. Some people are using it for, this guy's got like an intelligence report. I got to break this to you. As a guy who did intelligence for over 16 years, it doesn't read like a real intelligence report, but he doesn't know that. He's doing his own thing. The only people that I think that are using them effectively and wisely are Hickman, and I think I liked Hills were good, and I think I also like Percy's, but those are the only books I like too. Yeah, I thought his stuff in X Force was good.
Yeah, I forgot. I actually forgot the ones that in X Force. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna read those. Mine's have easily been Hickman's and Hill's. I really liked the overclock report that Hill did in Falling Angels. That was like really, really cool to me. Yeah, so. But anyway, that's kind of our overall impressions of Marauders.
Skip, you recommending this comic book to our viewers?
You know what? So here's the thing about that. I'm glad you asked that. This is not, again, this issue really reinforced the fact that this is not a comic book for me. I will be peering into the different reviews that get covered on YouTube. I personally will not be picking up this comic book anymore. Personally, I'm out of it. I can just, there's enough beauty in it, and especially the art is what redeemed it for me, but too much of the writing, like especially when it came to the character study, just kind of like nails on a chalkboard to me. So but here's the thing, Wes, I am going to be recommending this comic book because I think there's a large number of people. I know I'm an odd duck. I know I'm not like a lot of people. I'm pretty unique in my personality. I think a lot of people will actually really enjoy this. I think the overarching arc is strong and compelling enough for them to say like, wow, this is good writing. And I think the fart joke humor, is of the times. I think Gerry Duggan kind of understands that part a little bit more than I care to really be attracted to. So I actually am going to recommend this book to readers. Wes, how are you feeling about it? And are you going to recommend it to some people?
I give this the most barely recommend I could ever give a comic. Like it's right on the edge. I don't love it, but I kind of like it. There's enough to enjoy about it. I do think it's fun. It's just a little too goofy. It doesn't really suit my taste. I don't like the humor, but there is a very good through point in the plot that makes sense. It's essential, and I do want to see where it goes. So I'm probably going to stick around for maybe 1 or 2 more, see if it gets turned around and maybe becomes the comic that I thought it was going to be. But the softest recommend I could ever give a comic book.
That is very fair, my friend. So everybody, thank you again for joining us on Outside the Bleed. We appreciate it. Obviously, we've got Geek Span coming up tomorrow. there's some interesting things to talk about. We will be discussing those. If you're looking for a gaming chair or if you're looking for an office chair, please consider Tabu Ohana. I have their link. Did I get right over here? Okay, I got the right hand this time. It's kind of weird doing that on camera. I just went to a charity dinner that we held. We were able to raise over $3,500 for orphans out in Thailand. And it's going to get them shoes that actually grow with their feet, which is really, really cool. If you want to support that, we would really, really appreciate it. There's amazing things going out in that land, and those people are very appreciative of it. So thank you for considering it. My commission that I would get actually goes directly to them. So thanks for supporting that. If you're interested in supporting Thinking Critical, we have big plans, and we have some fairly big bills for some of our editing equipment and different things like that. $1 goes a really, really long way. It adds up. We have a goal. So if you go to our coffee page, you can see the goal and contribute and what you feel like. And I know these times are tight because we got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas coming up. But like I said, anything that you're willing to gift, we would be very appreciative. And feel free to suggest different types of content that you would want to see from us as a contributor. We will do our best to, we'll definitely consider all of it, and we'll do our best to implement it as possible. But getting some of the audio only content would be one thing that you would have access to if you chose to donate to us. And Wes, anything else that I didn't cover? Maybe like the Discord?
Well, we do have a Discord server. We're having a lot of fun in there. If you'd like to talk comics and movies, come and join us. You'll have access to basically all the aficionados. You'll have access to Skip, myself, most of the people that have been on the channel, and we have a lot of good. We have a good time there. Does that wrap it up? Are we leaving?
There's one more thing before we go, and it's one of the things that I'm most excited about, and it is the Thinking Critical Twitch channel. We finally got it all set up. It's all wrapped. We haven't taken the bow off of it yet, but that will be happening tonight. I will be going on there later today. I will be putting on into the Discord, and hopefully if Wes is conscious, because he might be asleep over in the Philippines, he will put on social media. I definitely will. Follow me at Skipntosh on Twitter when I go live. And I'm behind on The Mandalorian, so I'm going to be checking that out. I would love to talk to you guys about it. I will be reviewing it live on there, issue 1 and 2. And then that will set us up, because on Sunday, me and Dylan from I want to say it's the Real Comic Book Gamer.
The Real Comic Book Gamer.
Bam. We're going to be having a discussion about The Mandalorian so far, all the issues that have been released. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Wes is a huge Star Wars fan. And eventually, Wes and I will be popping up on there together too. But we're still figuring out how to deploy this thing. But it's an opportunity and a way for you to come hang out with us, as we're doing a limited amount of streams on YouTube. But we're going to be introducing more live streams and stuff like that on Twitch. So it's thinking_critical_YT. Thinking_critical_YT. Come and hang out with me. And once they're all done, if I'm not like dog dead tired, I'm gonna play some video games too. I'm either gonna play some old retro Captain America and the Avengers that was on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, or I'll play the Marvel Ultimate Alliance Black Order. So come hang out.
Perfect. All right, that'll do it for us today. Salamapo. We're out.